Let's get back to the reviews then. We're going to go for Youth. We're going to hear from Harvey Keitel after this clip.
Do you know who composed that piece that you're practicing?
No. Who?
Me.
I don't believe you. What's it called?
Simple Song Number 3.
And what's the composer's name?
Fred Ballinger.
And you? What's your name?
Fred Ballinger. You can check at the front desk. I'm staying here.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible.
My teacher makes me play it. He says it's a perfect piece to start with.
Yeah, but he's right. It's very simple.
It's not only simple,
Oh, really?
it's also really beautiful.
Yes, it is beautiful. I composed it while I still loved.
My first reaction was, I want this part. My second was to tell my agent, get me this part. And my third was, I got the part. Now what the hell do I do? I feel about cinema and telling stories that we do it as an offering to the audience, to our people, our friends, people just like us, and that they will give me back their stories after they see our work. So I'm not in the habit of explaining a character I do to anybody. I want to hear what they feel about the experience of the character, just as I experienced the character when I read the screenplay. So I have a difficult time talking about myself and saying nice things about myself.
Thanks for that, Harvey. What a nice guy.
Yeah,
He was so pleasant when he spoke to us.
Mr. Wolf.
Those adverts have degraded him a little bit.
Nah, man.
Nah, it's Harvey
They're
Keitel.
still good adverts, but yeah, whatever.
And you breakfast.
Let's get to Youth, the new film by Paolo Sorrentino.
Yes, so Paolo Sorrentino did The Great Beauty in 2013. Love that film, really, really good. And this time he's back with an English language film featuring the legendary Michael Caine and the legendary Harvey Keitel and a very, very good actress in Rachel Weisz, who I'm really going to love.
Backed up by some really good supporting performances from
Paul Dano, especially who still think was robbed for
Jane
not getting
Fonda.
nominated for Love and Mercy. Yeah, and Jane Fonda, who still, legendary. What?
No,
Okay.
Jane Fonda more.
Well, yeah, just an incredible actress, yeah. So, Youth follows two longtime friends who are vacationing in the Swiss Alps. Michael Caine plays Fred, an accomplished composer and conductor who's most famous for his simple songs, which are sort of renowned, beautiful pieces of music. And Harvey Keitel plays his best friend Mick, who is a renowned filmmaker. And Michael Caine's daughter is played by Rachel Weisz, who is also along in their vacation. Mick is trying to finish his screenplay for what he thinks might be his last truly important film, while Fred has no intention for resurrecting his musical career. The British government are trying to get him to sort of come back and do his simple songs for the Queen, but he has no intention to do it. And while they are at the Alps, they are sort of ruminating on their past and finding that some of your greatest moments in life can come from those later moments in your life, and hence youth, the sort of the divide between young and old, and that's very much where the sort of central sort of focal points of the film come from.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys thought, but I was really absorbed by it. I think there's things that there's things I have issues with. I'll start with the good. It's better to focus on the good. I love the music throughout the film. It opens up with "You Got the Love" on the revolving platform in the center of the
That's nice.
the resort. I like the music at the end as well, but I'm not going to say what that is. The entire thing is really well composed. There's a track in the trailer where it's like, "Who's your?" Sorry, I can't do it. That was terrible. Clean off short, and I'll try again. It's like. It goes, "Use your voice," and it's like big gap, and then it goes, "Use your," and it's just like that. That's a really nice track. So the music, I think, it needed to be good to have a story about a composer. The score needed to be on top point. The visuals, obviously, throughout the big sort of wide shots, where it's got a sort of big photo frame shots that I like to call them. I felt really sucked in by it. The entire thing is kind of like a comedy might go for a sort of gag a minute. This sort of felt like philosophy a minute. And in every single scene, there was at least one bit of sort of philosophy or wisdom, and it kind of felt like being bashed over the head so much to the point where I couldn't sort of tell you any of it now. There's one scene that sticks out where Paul Dano is in the museum with all the cuckoo clocks. Yeah. You got Paul Dano like sort of like suave and stoic looking at the hats, and there's Michael Caine walking past all these cuckoo clocks. All over the shop. That's a great scene. And the little girl goes over. That's kind of the one bit that stuck with me in terms of the wisdom that's sort of scattered throughout the film. So none of it really stuck. There's obviously some very harrowing parts of the film and moments that will stick you visually. But in terms of emotional beats, it didn't have the effect. I think the best parts that do resonate in that sense is Rachel Weisz.
Yeah.
Her character having a sticky romantic situation. Paloma Faith involved. The actual Paloma Faith.
Which is very strange.
And I think there's surreal moments as well. Sorrentino's clearly gone for a very surreal style here. There's cutaways, a lot of them involving nude old people.
Yeah, I think certainly probably some of the most visually stunning shots in the film are the shots where they're in the saunas, and you got the kind of one like it's kind of like Caravaggio-esque, and it looks stunning. Like this film is obviously Sorrentino. It's visually
one of those nude people happened to be Diego Maradona.
Really?
Yeah, that was the real Diego Maradona.
The Diego Maradona.
Hand of God.
Hand of God.
Jesus.
Because there's a joke in the film like everyone knows I'm left-handed. And it's like, yeah, we all know you're left-handed. That's great. It's just having the Paloma Faith thing in there is bizarre. Like, and that's kind of adds to the surrealness. And that's why I did like it. I just don't know if I loved it yet. I think it might need another watch.
It's kind of for me it's similar case with The Assassin. I need to watch it again because while I loved all the contemplation of youth and old age and everything. Because it's kind of similar to The Lobster. Like with a resort, you get like everything's just absorbed in this one place. But Sorrentino he's similar with The Great Beauty. How he seems to be, even though there is a plot, he seems to be more of a filmmaker of moments rather than like a gradual thing.
I think The Great Beauty certainly it's the only other Sorrentino film I've watched, but I am intending to watch more. I think that had much better effect in it. In that I remember the lasting moments, and I remember the sort of finale and the final shot of the canal.
Yeah.
Whereas it's kind of I don't.
It's because similar with The Great Beauty, which obviously always gets referenced to La Dolce Vita. If you're going to make a film which is compromised of these moments, they've got to be like big. They've got to be impactful. And while there are certain bits in the film that do that, I don't think overly.
I think
it's not too.
I think there's too much.
Yeah.
It's shorter than The Great Beauty, but I think they try and pack more in, and it kind of feels a bit overstuffed. But I did like it. That's the thing. It's another one of these films where I come out. This happens a lot of the time. So just because of the sort of caliber of films that they show, I'll come out feeling sort of hungover. That you step out of this world that you're so absorbed in, and everything else just sort of feels less satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, you get on the metro and it's cold and the colours aren't as nice. I mean, the rich colour tones and the photography is just stunning. To step out of that world was just like, oh god. And, you know, to go back and put your headphones on, listen to Spotify and listen to some crap. It's like, this is youth. But I definitely want to watch it again.
I'd need to see it again because then again, like even though a lot of the moments aren't overtly impactful, it does have some of it's the little ones that are just absolutely fascinating. For example, where Michael Caine's first talking to the Queen's, whatever he is there, that guy, and like obviously the camera just kind of slowly dollies in the way he's like, because in the film he always plays with that rapper. And like I love those little tiny quiet moments in the film, which is like fantastic. But those surprisingly stick out more than others, which are meant to be impactful but aren't really. But I don't know. With youth, it fit for me right now. It just kind of feels like a film where the scenes I love and other scenes that just kind of
wash over you
in there. Even some of the contemplation though of like old and young, sometimes it's just kind of there. It doesn't. I think if you use it overtly too much, it kind of loses its impact when they're constantly talking about it.
I think you can see from watching the film that Sorrentino wrote this for Caine. He said that only two actors he thought could do it. That's Caine and Jack Nicholson. But he wrote the part with Caine in mind. I think that comes across, and I think it's a testament to the film. It doesn't quite play to its strengths, the film, as much as it could. But I think it gets the best out of Michael Caine. Yeah, it's a very wise performance. It's probably his last good one.
Yeah, probably one of the best things I've seen Caine in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Dressed to Kill this week, and I wasn't a big fan of that. It's a Brian De Palma film.
Good old De Palma.